Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name is Katherine and this is my Flosstube, Katherine Stitching Chronicles. So this is my little corner of the internet where I blab about my cross stitching and viewers like you listen to me. Today I'm going to take you through all the finishes that I have on the wall behind me. So I've gotten a lot of comments asking about what they are and just generally asking if I can show them in a video. So that's what we're gonna do today. I am not sure how exactly I'm going to do this. I think the best way for me to show each one is gonna be to take it off the wall and bring it up here because I tried filming just like with my phone in my hand and the lighting was not great and it's shaky. And anyway, I'm gonna take them off one by one and bring them up here to show you. I will tell you as many details as I remember about what I stitched them on and if I made any changes, but I will definitely at least tell you the designer and the name of the chart. So if you wanna find it and stitch it yourself, you will be able to do so.
Hi, so I'm just filming this to add in while I'm editing because I just reached 1,000 subscribers and I just wanted to say thank you all. And I'm kind of in disbelief right now that there's already 1,000 people that are interested in hearing me talk about my cross stitch. It's really blowing my mind. So I just wanted to add this in to say thank you. And I'm really looking forward to making more videos for you and sharing all my stitchy progress.
So first one here, this is, I wrote down all the names so I wouldn't forget. This is the Little Mermaid princess from Brooks Books Publishing. So she has a series of like dress designs that are based off of different Disney princesses. As you'll see later in this video, I've done quite a few of them. I have stitched 6 and I have 5 on my wall. I have 1 that still needs a frame. And then I have a 7th one that I purchased more recently that I would still like to stitch. So yeah, this is a Little Mermaid. So I stitched her on 14 count navy Ada. I think it's just from Zweigart or something, just really like standard navy Ada. It's not dyed or anything, hand dyed or anything. This was my first time stitching on a darker fabric. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I did this a few years ago. I don't remember exactly when I started it, but we'll say around 6 years ago. And even between then and now, like I'm stitching something else on a scrap piece from this project. And in order to stitch it, like I need to be positioned under my light. It needs to be bright so that I can see what I'm doing. And even just 6 years ago, I remember I stitched this and I was like, oh, it's not hard. And what do people mean? Like it's totally normal to stitch on dark fabric and it's not even a problem. So I guess my eyes are starting to show some signs of strain. Anyway, I really love this. I love the pops of color against the dark blue. And yes, this is finish number 1. All right, number 2 has the same frame as the first one. I got them framed at the same time. Well, actually, I got this one framed and then my mom got that one framed with it as a surprise. So this is Sleeping Beauty. This one might be my favorite just because it's pink. So this is another piece of 14 count Ada. I'm pretty sure I got it off of Amazon, actually. It was like totally random from Charles Craft, I think. Like it, yeah, I was just randomly like looking on Amazon and I came across it and thought, oh, that's cool. And it worked really well for this. So in the original design, most of her dress is pink until about like here. And then it transitions into blue. So that's the nod to the part in the movie, right, where the fairies are zapping the dress and they're like, make it pink, make it blue. So it showed that. But I decided that I just wanted it to be all pink because I love pink. And I'm really happy with how it ended up looking. And then I thought it would really pop on the blue fabric, and then that could be my nod to the make it blue part of that scene. In the original design, there's also 3 little like sparkly kind of circles with little colored bits on them to represent the 3 fairies, and I decided to leave that off. I didn't really think it needed it, and especially since I changed the color of the dress to be uniform the whole way through, I didn't really want to start introducing other random bits of color. So I just didn't stitch them, and I just think it turned out really, really well, and I was really proud of this one when I got it done because it was my first time really like changing anything about a design. So I love her so much. All right, this one is a big one, and this might be one of my proudest finishes that I have up until this point. So this was a stitch along. This was one of my first stitch alongs. It is one of the biggest things that I've ever finished, and it certainly has the most beads of anything that I've ever done too. So this, let me get turned around. This is the Bella Filipina Mermaids of the Seasons stitch along. Look at how gorgeous she is. I love this so much. It's just, it takes my breath away every time I look at it. So I stitched this on a piece of 28 count Lugana from Fiber on a Whim in the colorway Topaz. And I think that colorway actually got discontinued. I don't think you can get it anymore, which is too bad because it's a really, really stunning shade of blue. But anyway, I'm really glad I used it for this. I didn't get the like the official stitch along fabric. I believe it was through Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. They have so much gorgeous fabric, and I would love to buy it all, but the fact of the matter is that I'm in Canada, and with the exchange rate and shipping costs, it's a little hard to justify the cost sometimes. And I was already buying the chart and then all the beads and everything to go with it, and I just didn't want to pay for a piece of fabric. And I happen to have this one in my stash already, and it's actually really, really close to the style fabric, so it worked out perfectly fine. What else can I say about this? I love it. I love each mermaid for its own reason. I think the spring one is the most like traditional mermaid, I guess you could say, just with the color of her tail and the shape and everything. Like it's just, you picture a mermaid, and I feel like this is the first thing that comes to mind. The summer mermaid, I mean, I love pink. If that wasn't obvious already, I love pink. So of course I love the pink mermaid, but I just love the mix of the pinks and the oranges and those little pops of purple. That one really, when I saw it, I was just floored. Now the autumn one is where things get interesting. So I actually did a skin conversion on this one. So the original skin tone, I don't recall the threads exactly, but I think it was like DMC 838, 839, and 840, which are lovely shades of brown, but it's a very cool toned brown. And in my opinion, next to the yellow tail, it just looked so gray, and I just didn't really like the look of it together. It actually took me probably about a week to even start on this one because I just didn't like the skin and I wasn't quite sure what I was gonna do. So I decided to change the skin tone. I still wanted it to be deep, but I really warmed it up. So I ended up using 433, 434, and 435, I believe. And then I darkened the hair just a smidge as well, just so that it wouldn't blend in quite as much with the skin. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks great. I think that changing the skin tone was the right call. Just with the yellowtail, like to me now, she just looks warm and full of life. So I was a little nervous changing the skin tone because I've never changed the skin tone on something that I've stitched before, but super happy with my choice. And I think the beading on this one might actually be my favorite. It was just unexpected to me to have, you know, the kind of dark brownish beads and then the yellow, but then to have those purple like flowers in there. Hopefully this is showing up okay and it's focused. Yeah, and then the Winter Mermaid, hang on, this is heavy. I mean, just the iciness and the like seafoam green is just divine. So I spent a lot of time talking about this one. I just can't get enough of it. So yeah, this ran, whoops, the wire stuck on my dress. This ran from September to December last year, and the mermaids came out each month. So the Winter Mermaid came out December 15th. I finished this on January 1st. I finished it immediately and it went up on my wall a couple weeks later. So I love this. I didn't think about the fact that I was gonna have to hang these all back up and try and get them straight again. All right, so this is another Brooks Books princess. So this is Snow White. This is just 28 count even weave. It's just plain white, nothing fancy for this one. I love this so much. I remember when I was working on this, I remember stitching the cape, and I mean, it's huge, as you can see. And like doing all that fill-in was quite the process, but was it ever worth it? Ugh, the way that these colors just pop on here is something else. I remember I did like all the little colored bits and then I filled in the black after. So it wasn't the most exciting, but just seeing it come to life was so much fun. And yeah, I'm really happy with the framing on this one. So I just went with a really basic black frame, but I added this gold fillet, and it looks exactly the way I pictured it. And I think the simplicity just really complements it really well and allows her to shine the way that she deserves. Oh, so pretty. So next up we have a Nora Corbett. So this is Miss Black Swallowtail. And this is stitched on a piece of 14 count Aida from DMC actually, that I bought at Michael's. They have a few color variations of kind of this mottled tie-dye-ish looking fabric. I think, yeah, this is printed. So it's not actually dyed, it's printed on, but it looks like it's hand dyed. So kind of cool to have an inexpensive craft store option. I remember when I started this, I wasn't totally sold on using this fabric for this. I just worried that it was gonna be like too pink and maybe be a little bit overwhelming, but I'm really glad I went with it because I feel like the pink in the fabric really picks up on this little bit in her wing there, because like that's the only accent of, you know, pinky purple on her. And this very lightest shade in her dress is actually identical to the lightest bits of purple on this fabric. Like I laid the thread down on it and it was exactly the same. So it worked out really well for this. And I love the finished look. This is just a frame I found at Valley Village. I kind of make it my mission now every time I go just to look at the framing section. And I found a lot of great frames actually secondhand. And I've used a few of them, but I also have like a stockpile going in one of my cupboards just of frames that I think are versatile and that I think would be well suited for framing a finished cross stitch piece at some point. All right, so this next one is also Nora Corbett, and it's also in a thrift store frame. So this is Poppy, and this was my first Nora Corbett. So I don't remember the year, but several years ago now, I inherited a stash of cross-stitching supplies from, I think it was like the mother of a friend of my mom. And it ended up with me, and it was a bunch of thread, and it also, you know, the box of stuff that she had given me, it had like beads and some patterns and a bit of fabric in it as well. And yeah, a few patterns, and one of them was this. And shortly before I had gotten all of this stuff, I had discovered Mirabilia's and Nora Corbett's. And I thought, wow, like those are really cool. That like they're beautiful. And then I got all this stuff, and there happened to be a Nora Corbett chart sitting in there with all the supplies ready to go. And I was like, okay, it's happening. So I stitched it right away. And this has actually been sitting in a cupboard for years. Like, I stitched this before I started university, which was 7 years ago. So it's been in a cupboard for a long time, and now it's finally up on my wall, and I love her so much. Ugh, she's just beautiful. This dress, I mean, this is the first time that I'd really stitched anything like this, and I was just so excited about this dress. And I think this frame actually works like really, really well for this. So super happy to have it on my wall now. All right, we are back to Brooke's books. So this is Cinderella. She's stunning. This was the first Brooke's book design that I found. I was just, you know, surfing Google. I was just looking up, just trying to find something to stitch. I don't know if I was looking for, you know, a pretty dress cross stitch or princess. I don't know what I was looking for, but I came across a photo of this and thought, wow. And that's what led me to the Brooke's Books shop and to this collection of princess dresses. So this is the first one I saw. It took my breath away. And she's just stunning. This is 14 count Ada that I also got from Michael's. I don't even know if it really has a name. It's probably called like oatmeal or I don't know, beige or something. It's just a really pale neutral Ada. In the original design, there is a pillow with her slippers sitting on it, and I think it's on this side. And I did do it a little bit close to the edge, and there wasn't going to be room to do the cushion. I could have done it up here somewhere, but I just decided not to do it. Part of me wishes I had, but I also think it's fine without it. So just the dress. This was really fun to do, but all that backstitch, whew, took a while, but was it ever worth it? I just adore the detail on this. I saw someone else, I'm trying to remember, I think it was Mama Bear Stitching. I'll add her handle. But I follow her on Instagram, and she also did the Bella Filipina Mermaids of the Season stitch along, and she got it custom framed with this frame at Michael's. And I remember seeing that post, and I literally zoomed in and screenshotted and was like, I need to get something done with that frame. Like, there's some piece that I have, I need to take to Michael's and get that frame. And I got it on this piece, and I think it just complements it beautifully. And I'm so happy, because I really love this frame, and I just needed the right thing to use it on. So I love that dress, that blue. Oh, gorgeous. So the last one that I have on this wall behind me is another Brooks Books, and this is the Desert Princess, which evidently is based off of Jasmine. So this is also just stitched on plain white, 28 count even weave, and I just love her. So even though the last one that I showed, Cinderella, was the first one that I had seen a photo of online, this is the first Brooks Books princess that I actually stitched. And this is also my first time using Chronicles. And I don't think it was my first time beading ever, but it was certainly one of the first. And let's just say that I was hooked instantly. It was just a hook, line, and sinker. I love sparkly things and pretty outfits and bright colors, and this one definitely sucked me in. I can't get enough. This one also has really fun backstitch, like on her pants. There's little butterflies there, and like the headdress and everything on here. I mean, it's just stunning. And I love these little butterflies too. Like, they're such a small detail, but even just those little butterflies are just so pretty. I was really proud of this one when I got it done. This was one of the biggest projects I'd ever worked on at that time, and yeah, when I got this done, I was pretty hyped. So, it's beautiful. All right, I have a couple more to show you. I have a couple things hanging on the wall over on this side, so I'm just gonna pull those down to show you as well, because why not? So this is a really recent finish. This is the Femurs and Fungi stitch along from Fine Frog Stitching. So this is a very recent stitch along. It started in April and finished, I want to say in July. No, June. It was the last day of June that it finished, sorry. So this was a weekly stitch along for around 11 weeks. And this was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. The releases were really manageable, and I was easily able to keep up with it, which was also nice because, you know, stitch-alongs are fun and everything, but it could be discouraging if you fall behind, or at least it is for me. And it's nice to have something that you can look forward to every week, but don't feel stressed out that it's like a lot of stitching or that you're not going to be able to get it finished. So this is the official stitch along fabric. It's Eclipse from Witch's Garden Crafts. Whoops. So I actually won this fabric in a giveaway. Fine Frog Stitching and Witch's Garden Crafts did a giveaway across multiple channels, I believe. I think they had multiple winners, like on Facebook and Instagram. And anyway, I was one of the lucky few. So they sent me this gorgeous piece of the stitch along fabric, and it was enough that I was able to cut it in half. So I still have like a decent amount of fabric to use for something else, which is really exciting because it's gorgeous. I'm not sure how it's going to show up on camera, but it's just the richest dark purple that you've ever seen in your life. And all these elements just pop so well on here. So, and then this frame I just picked up at Michael's. And yeah, I want to keep the frame simple for this and just let the elements speak for themselves. So super happy that I also got this one done and up on my wall like almost immediately. Okay, so lastly, I actually have two here to show you. So I'm not much of a gamer, but I do play one single game, which is Stardew Valley. So it's a farm, I don't even know how to describe it, farming simulation game. There's farming, you can go mining, you can go fishing, and I mean, it's social too. Like you talk to the people that live in the town, and anyway, it's just a fun little cutesy game. And I came across these designs on Etsy from a shop called Glitch Stitch AU. And basically it's scenery inspired by Stardew Valley. So, you know, there's a few different designs of like houses and maps and stuff. So this is one where you can have like a beach farm. So it's a beach. And this is what the house looks like, and the greenhouse, because you can, you know, grow crops and stuff in the greenhouse. And then there's some animals and stuff that are present in the game as well. And she has a Stardew scene like this. She has a design for every season. So naturally, I bought all 4 designs. So this is the summer one that I finished in July. So I have this hanging on my wall right now. But last year I stitched the spring one. So I'll just show you that one as well. So this is the spring, or Stardew spring, I guess, design. So you can see like they're similar and they clearly like go together, but you know, there's spring, summer, and then the autumn one has a lot of like purples and oranges, and there's pumpkins and fall crops and things. And then the wintry one is all snowy and kind of more Christmas themed. So eventually I'll have all 4 of them done and we'll swap them out on my wall each season. But for now, I've only got 2. So big plans. All right, so that concludes this video about all the finishes that I have hanging in my room. So feel free to leave any comments or questions that you might have about any of the finishes that I showed you, and I will do my best to answer them. If there's any details that I left out or that you'd like to know, I would be more than happy to tell you. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you again next time.